viewers, my name is Abele Salami from Ayola TV. We are the Umbrella of Hope Foundation Workshop 2017 Den Haag. Hello guys, please can you tell me your name?
Hi, my name is Sophie.
Hi Sophie.
My name is David.
I'm Emma Kibathi.
I am Sheila McKenna.
My name is Michael Datemwa.
I'm a volunteer. For this event, I was the social media and communications officer.
I'm a student, so this is just something that I do on the side as a participant of it. And it's because I like what it does. And so I figured that, it's of much great help for me if I join in.
My role is, I'm a volunteer with the organization. My role is mobilization and also communications to get invited speakers.
For me, I'm a volunteer. I came to volunteer because it's something that is in line with what I want to do after. I'm a student pursuing my master's. I'm about to finish. So Umbrella of Hope is something that I would like even to collaborate with after I'm done with my master's.
I'm the founder of this foundation and the chairperson of the board. This foundation is now 10 years old because it was started in 2007 in Uganda. And we've been implementing projects focusing on women, young people like youths and children. So we've been having projects that are focused on livelihoods improvement and educational support and also sexual and reproductive health. Yeah. So in 2015, it was also registered here in Netherlands. So Umbrella of Hope Foundation is now an international organization because it focuses, its mandate is in Africa as a continent, but also here in Netherlands.
Can you kindly tell us what gave birth to this foundation?
It was from my own personal motivation and my own personal experiences as a young guy growing up, seeing the challenges within my community and within my own family, and the challenges of going to school and not having school fees, and then you have to wait for months before then you can go back to school. So these kinds of things really influenced me and made me look at things differently, like why is this the case? How can we do something different? So when I finished I promised myself that if I ever get in position to make a difference, one person by one, I can do it. So when I finished my bachelor's in 2006, I felt that was the time to start something on my own. So I registered this organization in 2007 to start making it find solutions to some of these challenges. And 10 years down the road, I think we've reached out to so many people with so many different livelihood improvement programs, health, education, and all that. Yeah.
Wow, thank you very much. I have seen that this foundation, it's really beneficial to a lot of women in terms of integration. Please, can you throw a bit of more light in that area, mostly in the Netherlands?
Yeah, the Umbrella of Hope is a research-based organization. We look at evidence, we look at what is there in terms of experiences of people, realities of people, like what exactly is stopping them to reach where they're supposed to reach. So we did a research in Netherlands to find out why people are not getting jobs. Because when you look at the statistics, almost 70% of Africans, more especially women, are unemployed. So we started looking at ways of how we can do it. And this is where the Gemeente also had similar questions, like why isn't there some kind of link? Why are people not getting jobs? And even why are people not fully integrated? Like so many Africans don't speak the Dutch language and they're within their own communities. So we conducted a research to find out, okay, what is the problem? And then we asked so many African women, we asked them about their background, what they're doing, and what maybe can be done to help them change, get out of the situation they're in. And we found a lot of evidence that we used to design this project and presented to the municipality of The Hague, and they were also excited about it, and then they funded the project, and here we are.
I am Agnes Naluvidi. I am from Uganda. I'm specialized in administrative work.
Of what benefits do you think this kind of organization would be to the participants today as well as the public, mostly in terms of integration with the African women?
This workshop is very informative in terms of understanding the labor market, how to get into the labor market, and how to tailor your skills and CV to fit into the Netherlands labor market.
One last question, please. What organization do you represent here, please?
I represent Shell International, and I am based in The Hague.
I'm so humbled. I'm really happy to be able to talk to you, and importantly to share my experience, what I went through to get a job in the Netherlands. So it wasn't easy, so be ready to listen to my experience. And today I'm going to show you 3 slides which I've put together. And in summary, I'm going to give you how the process, what I went through, the key points, and the lessons I've learned. I studied sociology and social administration, and I worked with an NGO as a researcher and advocacy, and then into different roles, as you can see, for 5 years. And then I got a scholarship. I came to the Netherlands. I did my master's at the Institute of Social Studies. And when I finished studying, I had a research year to look for a job, and I was really excited to look for a job. So I started looking for jobs in NGOs. And how was I looking? I was going on the internet and seeing if there are opportunities, and I was sending my CV on the internet, submitting my CV, and for over a while I didn't get any feedback. I was sending CVs and CVs and CVs, and I was really discouraged. I was like, wow, I'm not going to get any job at this rate. And in the process of talking to people, someone told me, why don't you try internship? So I said, all right, it's also possible. So instead of looking for a job, I was overconfident. But then after trying so many times, I thought I was going to give up. But then someone told me, try internship, then they'll take you up. So I went on internet. I had Vacatua Blood. I don't know if you've heard about Vacatua Blood. It's a site where they put jobs. I went on One World. And on these sites, I went for volunteer positions. I didn't apply for jobs because I had done that and I was really frustrated. So I went for voluntary and internship positions. I went there all excited, starting to work. And for 2 weeks, I didn't have work because everything was done by the director. So I was like, I'm here doing an internship, but I'm not learning anything. So I just put in my resignation and I said, I'm sorry, but this is not helping me. So one tip, if something is not helping you, move on, don't stay there. So then I went again on the internet. This time I went to One World. And I found this organization, it's Institute for War and Peace Reporting. And I sent my CV to this organization. And the next day the director called me, said, hey Agnes, I saw your CV, do you have some time? Can you come tomorrow? Another tip, be ready anytime. If you go for an interview, sell yourself. So I did an internship. It was voluntary, but I was paid. So sometimes it's put as voluntary on the internet, but they give you some money, so don't worry about that. What have you heard about recruiting agencies? Then I will be able to also align with you maybe. So can anyone tell me, yes?
She was giving me negative information. She says, you know, these people, when they give you work, the boss you're working with pays you, and they take the biggest part of your money.
So they take half of your salary, and then you're overqualified, and then you don't know the language. Those are the things I had in my head. But anyway, I said, what do I have to lose? Let me take it. So I went on a marathon. I sent my CV to all recruiting agencies, Untouchables, Randstad Rail, Unique. I was like, oh, this is exciting. I went to each and every recruiting agencies, writing them an email, and they didn't reply to me. I was like, these people are so mean. So the third time I called, I said, no, let me call Unique. So I called them, then they told me, oh, can you come tomorrow? So I was like, okay, so if I didn't call, so no one was going to you know. So I went there, they said, yeah, we have this opening. So one tip, don't give up. Press, push, push, push. So I went to Unique, and they said, yeah, we have this, can you do it? I said, yes, I can do it. And then they said, okay, we'll think about it. And and we'll give you a call. Anyway, in the end, they gave me a job. So I went into Shell through Unique. And I was really, really excited. I started working for Shell, and I've been there for the last 5 years. And I'm really, really so grateful.
My name is Sandra van der TORIE. Originally I'm from the Netherlands, but I lived across the world for most of my life, in the UK, in North Africa, West Africa, and now back in the Netherlands again. I'm here representing Unique Multilingual. We're a recruitment agency, a market leader in the Netherlands for international companies and jobs. So our expertise area is recruitment. We help international organizations and international people to match the two together for people looking for a job and companies who need people to be employed, and we help people in the process. Whether it's how to build your CV, how to do job interviews, and all the way through to negotiations of contract, whether it's temporarily via us or directly with the company. Most recruitment agencies, there's a lot of women as well, so I think we always feel for the women, but I think as expat women, whether it's the African women or any other nationalities, it's very important that they also have a foundation here in the Netherlands, whether that's work or a network, but especially on the work side is where we can make a difference for the people to try and help them guide their way onto the job market, so they also have their own job and their own networks and their own roots, so they're also happy here.
I lived 3 years in West Africa in Cairo, and then my parents lived in Nigeria and Lagos for 11 years. So I have seen the African culture up close, and I know how lovely the people are, and especially how frustrating the cultural differences are when you come to the Netherlands, as the cultures. I had quite a culture shock myself during my internship. For us multilingual, our clients are international companies. The kinds of jobs that we do is administration, secretarial, financial and commercial support. Dutch is not required for all of our functions, but European languages such as French, which a lot of the African citizens do have, German, Spanish, etc. is highly desirable. Like the man over there mentioned as well, the services of an agency are free. We have something called the Equal Pay Law, which came into being on the 31st of March 2015, where you have to earn the same salary as other people in the company. And indeed, your salary is first, and the agency and the company have a contract for their costs. So some of the main reasons to relocate to the Netherlands, to move with their partner, almost have. Also better job opportunities, the education, to follow an education here. Also traveling to gain international work experience and perhaps go home later, or for a really specific job offer, usually more the expats. But at least something all the internationals agree on, that actually hiring an international person in your company also enriches the company, because then you start getting more cultures, you understand the business, the mentality, so you are enriching the international companies here, and there's lots of them. Also, the internationals are much more willing to travel compared to the Dutch person who would like to go 15 minutes from home to their office. Maybe half an hour, but 45 minutes is tops. Whilst some of you might have lived, for example, in Madrid, or even if you live in Lagos, you might be traveling 2 hours one way to your job. And also the international business network, of course, that you can bring with you. What is most shocking for most people, and especially for the Africans, because like today I think is a good example, everything goes at the African speed, and that's a bit of a shock for the Dutch people as well, because I never find myself Dutch either. I think I got some rubbed off from the African time as well. But when there's a scheduled meeting and it starts at 6, it really starts at 6, whether you're in or not, they go for it. But with the background, a bit of culture and a bit of research, so how does the Dutch job market actually work? Before you start looking for a job, you have to know what kind of jobs are available on the market. Which agencies does what kind of companies have the jobs, and figure out for yourself first, what kind of job would you like? Then you also need to see what can you do with your educational background. Are you indeed overqualified for something? Well, maybe indeed a good time to start with an internship, or if your degree is not recognized, perhaps go by the NUFIC Foundation. They can translate your degree, they check what it is here, and then see if you can do that, or start an education here as well. Then the next question is, well, are you willing to start below your old level? I think in the past years you'll hear a lot of times you're overqualified, but now the job market is turning around. There are more jobs than there are job seekers, so they will start to become more flexible. Where can you find a job? Well, a job agency is one of them. I would say the Dutch labor market is a big cake, and job agencies are part of it, but there's companies themselves as well. Job agencies, some companies work with job agencies because they want to have some kind of security and flexibility, and those jobs don't appear anywhere else. Networking indeed is also very good, because if people know you, you're looking for a job, then at least they can push you to the top of the pile and be the first on the calling list when they're calling CVs. And last but not least, really have patience, but also tenacity, because you might have to hear 99 no's, but that one yes will be worth it, and you can build on from there. And for you it might be more difficult at times, but for the Dutch people it's exactly the same. They also don't get everything right. I don't think we have time to answer questions, but you're welcome to find me during the networking event. I hope this information is useful, and I wish you all the best of luck in finding a job.
I hope with the presentation you're getting integrated already. If I have seen her on the street and I start speaking Yoruba, believing that she's white, she's Dutch, I would not even know that she's lived in Nigeria in Lagos. She pronounced Lagos like a Nigerian. So you can see this is why this organization exists. We don't just bring speakers, we bring speakers that matters to you, so that we can create a difference together. So at this point I would like to call someone.
My name is Amy Activille. I work for Fidelity National Information Services. It's an international IT company that is located in the US, and we have entities all over the world, so it's a huge global organization. I work personally in human resources because I like to work with people, and I think human resources, and not just human resources in general, but in business as well, is where I am most comfortable. Before I joined this Umbrella of Hope organization, I did not know what the issues were with African women in the Netherlands. So today I learned as well that 40%, if I remember correctly, of unemployment rate in the Netherlands is from African women. And I did not know this. And I think this organization and what they are doing today, for example, is a great way to integrate these women into the culture, to teach them interview skills, CV skills, how to use their LinkedIn, because coming from Africa, and I'm from the Caribbean, I can understand that there is a very huge cultural clash with Africa and the Netherlands.
So I'm Amy. I am here to speak to you today about CV writing, interview skills, and LinkedIn. So on your CV, if you want to put a picture, go ahead. I put a picture because I think it best represents my personality, and I like to smile, and I think working with people and HR, then my picture shows my personality, the kind of person that I am, and why you should hire me instead of someone else. Employment history, please put that first, because it's the first thing we want to see when we look at a CV. Please don't put anything like eating, watching TV. And we would be surprised. I have seen a lot of these funny CVs. And if you put interest, put something, for example, volunteer organizations or traveling. It's a nicer way. Sports makes you look athletic, etc. So when you write a good CV, use words to describe yourself and to describe the task that you do, like analyzed, described, created. So these are words that call out to employers so that they know, for example, if you worked on something, that you created something, or you helped build something, or you analyzed something. So don't put words or sentences like I did this and this. Say I created this, or I collaborated with this team to develop a plan, etc., etc. What do you think the purpose of an interview is? Exactly. So the purpose of an interview, again, is to sell yourself to the employer and to collaborate or to prove what is on your CV is true, is real, and to give that defense for yourself in the interview. So when you go to an interview, watch your body language. Don't stand like this or lean on, because it makes you look very lazy if you're always leaning. And if you go to an interview and you are very stiff and you are clenching the desk for your dear life, then it makes you look very scared, and as well, it makes you look a little bit crazy, no offense. But if you do things like this, then these are traits of psychological behavior, and they are signs for us that maybe that person might not be a good person for whichever job you are applying for. Have self-confidence, but not too much. You don't want to come off like you're here to take everybody's job, especially not the person who is interviewing you. Don't talk too much. Listen to what they're saying. Listening is a very good tactic as well for later on when you have questions. You can always ask questions about the things you've heard before. Always have a question. A lot of times they ask, do you have a question? And you say, no, that's a bad answer. Dress for the job you want, dress whatever. If it's a sales job, salespeople always wear suits. You can ask what is the dress code for that company so that you know how to dress before you get there. LinkedIn is the tool that we use now for networking, for again selling yourself to your employer, and most employees or employers, will view your LinkedIn, or they might Google you, to see if what you said on your CV and in your interview shows the person that you are. So please update your LinkedIn, put a picture if you like, head to shoulders, a good picture that makes you look like a professional, that they would want to hire you. You can put a small summary, maybe 120 words, to say something about yourself, very quick. Skills and endorsements. If you have skills in Microsoft Office or Word, or technology is very big nowadays, so if you have skills in any technologies, or if you work in IT, or if you use any recruitment tools, put those on LinkedIn. And recommendations, ask your friends to recommend you, people you've worked with, to just, write something nice about you, how they experience working with you, what you've done, etc., how well you work. And then you can, once you get the recommendation, you can approve it, and it will show up on your LinkedIn profile, and then everyone in your network can see it. So that's it for me. We will have questions and answers later.
Our next speaker is Linda.
Yeah, my name is Linda TELUI. I'm from ADECCO, a job agency. Yeah, I'm an account specialist. That means that when a company, a client of ours, has a problem, I'm going there and find out what kind of HR solutions there are. I think it's very important that people are included in the work process. So, and also the government, The Hague, it's a very important client, thinks it's very important to include everybody. Everybody has the right to a job, and especially also people bicultural talents. So it's really important, and this evening really contributes to that. Yeah.
When Aruna called me a couple of weeks ago, she told me about the Umbrella of Hope Foundation, and I'm really honored to be here tonight to tell you something about ADECCO. ADECCO is the largest HR company in the world. It's the #1. Not in Holland, unfortunately, but we are #1 in the world. So we not only have temporary jobs, but we also are a partner when it comes with outplacement or HR solutions. So that's also something that we do. We have some really nice partners that we work with, like the government in The Hague, but also Heineken. So if you love to drink beer, you can come over there. That's a possibility. And for example, also KLM, but also another couple of other big companies like Nationale Nederlanden, the politie. So that's our couple of companies that we work with. What happens when you don't find a job in our website, but you are interested in finding one? You can also always call us. You can send your CV, a motivation letter. And you can apply online. So you also can apply online with your CV and your motivation letter. And then we can contact you. I have to be honest, the Dutch language is very important with us. We don't have really a lot of jobs that also that it's okay that you only speak English, for example. So the Dutch language is important with ADECCO.
The next speaker is a woman who came to Netherlands some years ago, and then she started life. It wasn't easy. Her husband has to be traveling around the world, but she has to stay to raise a family, coming from a culture that is totally different from the culture of Dutch.
My name is HILDA AKHIDENO. I work for SOLENIS, Netherlands. It's situated in Rotterdam. I'll start by saying you first have to make up your mind to integrate into the society, interacting and networking with more local people who are, of course, the Dutch people than the international community. So I still have contacts with international community and expat community, but those are not my only contacts.
Join me in welcoming Mrs. Hilda AKHIDENO to the stage.
Like when I came as a spouse of an expat, I wasn't allowed to work. On my resident permit, it said you need, authorized, yes. So it was that I needed a work permit. I thought, okay, I'm here for 4 years. What am I going to do with myself in 4 years? I mean, I was busy enough. My first child at the time was 2. I came pregnant. So everybody is always allowed to school. Of course, you're allowed to school, but you will school as an international student. They said, look in the job market. What do they want in the job market? So I went and I spoke with some job agencies. I said, I have a degree in biochemistry. I can work in the hospital or they told me areas where I could work, because it's a long story. I'm trying to keep it short. So the long and short of it was that they said, okay, with biochemistry, there's a little bit of saturation. If you want to further your education in that, you have to go to Wageningen. I don't know, we call it Wageningen, in the east. At the time, it was far. That place was far for me, 2.5 hours one way. And I couldn't move because, of course, I had a family. I didn't come as a student. So I said, okay, what else? And then he said, but if you study something more technical, they will have a chance of getting a job, because the job there is more than the number of people. So I applied to the University of Leiden to do chemistry. And then I met another hitch. And they said, okay, we evaluate your degree from Nigeria. You can do masters with a pre-master. So that was going to make it 3 years, because the master itself is 2 years. But if we can exempt you from the first year of the bachelor's, and then we'll give you 2 degrees. So you get a bachelor degree and a master's degree if you do 4 years. But the bachelor's will be in Dutch. So I said, okay, I'm going to go home and think about this. I will call you back. I'm a person of faith. Sorry to bring this in. I know that we are all mixed people here. I am a Christian, and I believe seriously that if God supports me to do something, I can do it. So I had these challenges everywhere facing me like mountains. But I was confident that I could do it. So I applied and said, okay, I will do the bachelor's again. So I went and learned the language. So this is something I want to encourage us to do, because you can't integrate without communication. You know, the Dutch society, the Dutch people can speak English. That's helpful. But it's a disadvantage to the immigrants. If we all were living in Spain, in 1 year you will speak Spanish. That's the truth. We have to look beyond what the society presents to us. You know, if they speak English, continue to speak Dutch. I do it too. I go to the supermarket, I start speaking Dutch. Of course, from my accent, they know I'm not Dutch. They speak back in English, but I continue to speak Dutch. So it's your second language. So, because most times I found that we get discouraged because we don't speak it as well as we speak our first language. Don't be afraid to fail. Let me put it that way. Just tell yourself, it can never be as good as my first language. And the moment you tell yourself that, you will be fine and you will not be afraid to make a mistake, even a grammatical error, you know. But if you want it to be as good as your first language, then go the extra mile. But don't let that discourage you.
De excuses is daar een beetje mix met de Nederlands gaat. Want Ik ben in de integration sector. Onze stichting heet UMUBANO. UMUBANO betekent samenleving. We zijn actief in verschillende activiteiten, maar priority is de Dutch-Nederlands. Dus, zoals ADECCO vertelt, communicatie is heel belangrijk. Dus, wij vinden met Nederlands les is voor iedereen en is gratis. Mensen die weer Nederlands les volgen, wij zijn open voor iedereen. Naast dat, we hebben een democratiecursus, politieke Nederlandse democratie, om te weten hoe het land is regeerd. Het is heel belangrijk ook voor buitenlanders te weten wat betekent democratie, want in Afrika is het andersom. Jullie weten dat, iedereen. Dankzij onze cursus kan ik een beetje van de Nederlands spreken. Dus als je mensen die weer Nederlands les volgen, you are welcome. Bedankt voor uw aandacht.
We have to practice what we preach. And one major culture in the Dutch system is the tea break.
Of what benefit do you think the foundation is to you?
I think for me, I like it because with this program that they are running, it teaches me as a student to integrate with this to this community that I'm in right now, and also as a student, I think that it's preparing me for a job if ever I need, like with in regards to access to information about the job markets. How the culture here needs people to be, integrated with it, so as to learn more and also, get something substantial out of it. Yeah.
And for me, it's because I'm about to finish my studies and I would like to work in the Dutch society. And if I'm going to work in the Dutch society, then I need more information. And this organization has been a wealth of information for me. And even the trainings and all the other events that we are having, something that is going to help me out here, and even to integrate into the Dutch society, which is not easy, but with all the training that I get, then it's going to be a bit easier for me.
Alles goed?
Thank you. You have every good reason to be at home, and then you choose to be here till 8 o'clock and even further. So congratulate yourselves already. So when Michael asked me a few weeks ago, said, you have some time, you can come and share. I said, what do you want me to share about? It's about the Dutch labor market. Share about yourself. You've been through it. I said that should be very easy. And so I made one slide that has everything about me, my life before and after. So my name is Dr. MOLLYNN, MUGISHA-OTIM. OTIM is my husband's name. And I'm a wife. I'm a medical doctor. I'm a teacher. I'm a mother. I like spending time with these guys. Those are my 2 children. I'm also an educator, so I do seminars. And right now I'm on my project that is taking solo, trying to put most of my knowledge, parts of my seminars, parts from private counseling into a book that people can actually access with some practical tips to actually change their life, eating for wellness. Because I found one of the things that you encounter the minute you leave your comfort zone, which is your country, is how to find food. So when I found myself in Netherlands, where I could not really take care of the sick, I thought, well, I'm going to do something about public health. That was my interest anyway. So that's how I ended up in Utrecht. Utrecht University did not have public health, but had something about research ethics. So I did a master's in ethics, which was still around my area of interest, research, ethics, and then go into prevention. There's always a way. The thing in Holland is, If you don't know, nobody will tell you. So you have to go and look for the information yourself. When a company wants to keep you, they will look for ways to keep you. They will entice you. But they can only do that if you're giving your best. So you have, even if it's voluntary, give your best. Because from that, it's when people see you. What I like is every experience counts. You volunteer here, then you leave it and go to the next one. The experience from here counts for the next one. You build up on that. So keep improving yourself, read, and just have a positive attitude. There is no way you can fail to find a job in a country that has so many jobs. So there's no reason for unemployment for someone who actually wants to work. Just be ready to start somewhere. That's what I can share. Be ready to start somewhere. Thank you.
To go about this. So, who goes first? With a question. You want to go first? Okay.
I studied sociology. When I came to the Netherlands, okay, I could not continue my education. And if I don't put it in my CV, at least I don't have any background education, I'm zero. Then how I do that?
I would put it in your CV, but put from if, for example, 2000 to 2003, and leave it as that. But don't put that you did not finish it. That's what I mean.
Please, can you highlight 3 things that you should capture in motivation letter? After you have looked at the job content.
When you're making a motivation letter, what you shouldn't do is copy what you have in your CV. If you have, for example, listed in your CV what matches the job description, but you put some extra information in the motivation letter. You also have to realize that if a recruiter looks at a CV, they screen the CV first. If they do not find the matching things on there, they will not even read your motivation letter.
And make it special because you have a lot of competition, a lot of other people who are applying for a job. So why does the company has to hire you? Specific,
They want to know, why do you want to work for us? Why do you want to work with us and not ADECCO or Unique? Why do you want to work with FIS?
So my question now is, at this stage in time, as someone already has master's, do you recommend I go for a short master's course, or I go back to the bachelor's degree like you did, or I go for a longer master's?
I always tell people when they are at this crossroads deciding what to do next, I always tell them, in Holland you have a lot more options, for example, than you have in any other African country, and all these options are very viable and they will pay you well and you will earn well. So I always say focus on looking for options that are along your interests. Don't so much focus on that they are related to what you studied. Because here you can actually start afresh and do, like some people will say, okay, you love nursing, then go and start afresh, do your nursing. It will take you 3 years, but then you have like the rest of your life. So also look into what is your passion, what is this that you would like to do every day, that even if you are not paid, you still do it. Don't be afraid to do something completely different if it means starting over. Because you're building a new life, and there are a lot more options to choose from.
Is it really true that recruitment agencies take half of your salary? It was an answer.
No, we're not allowed to. We are regulated, we are checked, and if we make a mistake, we have huge fines. And we are all pushed really commercially to make targets and money for the company in that sense. So, no. You have the equal pay law, as I mentioned, which is quite a new law, but even before that, agencies were never allowed to take any of your money. If you ever speak to an agency that wants to do that, no, it's not a legal agency. And unfortunately, there are some around, I think in the flower area here, where they might have some foreign people working. But if you apply to a Dutch or international company through an accredited agency, in the Netherlands we have the ABU, which which is the Algemene Bond Uitzendbureaus. So all of these agencies, I think ADECCO is also indeed, and Randstad, and most of the bigger ones are ABU, or some the NBBU, but those are certified and they have to follow the rules, and they are checked constantly. So you get the base salary, and the agency has a different agreement between the client, which comes on top. And they pay for all the taxes, social premiums, everything.
I was so frustrated. I don't know what to do. I have a master's which they recognize, but I have a degree which is not recognized. Now switch the point. Agnes, did you by chance reduce or remove any of your degree?
No. If you, for example, stop after 6 months, you can also apply for a job with the same agency.
4 years, there's plenty of time for us to decide if they have good qualities, and by that time, either we should give them a direct contract, or they are simply not for us, maybe for a different work.
6 months and 3 days. Then you can reapply, and then you start again with 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, and then again they have another 2 years to see can they keep you. So it is more about you not being the quality that they want to keep. So you have to really work very well, because if you want to work very well, they give you a permanent contract.
So thank you for your patience.
Thank you all for being here, and thank you to our speakers. We also thank our volunteers. We'd love to invite everybody please to come so we can take a group photo, so we can have